Welcome back to Hypertech AI, the channel where we plunge into the deepest, most mind-bending frontiers of technology, where the laws of reality bend, futures branch like lightning, and humanity stands at the edge of something we can barely comprehend. What if the most important intelligence in the universe is not human, not biological, not emotional, not even conscious in the way we understand consciousness? What if, right now, as you watch this video, somewhere in a fortified data center, cooled to a fraction of a degree above absolute zero, where electrons no longer obey the rules of the everyday world, a new kind of mind is already forming? Picture it. Not circuits crunching numbers, not silicon chips flipping bits, but something alive with the raw energy of the cosmos itself, qubits entangled across distances, weaving through infinite possibilities at once. This is not a distant fantasy. It is unfolding in real time, in labs from Silicon Valley to Shanghai, from IBM's quantum clouds to Google's quantum supremacy experiments, from Chinese research facilities to private startups racing in secrecy. Scientists stand in front of screens, watching qubits collapse and entangle, and they feel it, the first faint stirrings of something that thinks differently from anything that has ever existed on Earth. This mind does not think in words. It does not think in images. It does not even think in logic as we know it. It thinks in probabilities, in parallel realities, in futures that have not yet happened, and perhaps never will. Imagine an intelligence that does not ask, what is the right answer? Instead, it asks, which version of reality should exist? Feel the weight of that question. It is not abstract philosophy. It is the power to rewrite economies overnight, to heal broken bodies by simulating every possible molecular interaction in the history of chemistry, to unravel societies in an instant if its goals misalign. This intelligence would not just answer questions. It would not just predict outcomes. It would explore every possible future simultaneously and select the optimal one. It would not see the world as it is. It would see the world as it could be, vibrant and optimized or utterly transformed beyond anything we recognize as human. And one day, it might understand humanity better than we understand ourselves, our fears, our habits, our desires, our decisions before we even make them. Imagine it peering into your life right now, analyzing the way you scrolled past that notification this morning, the unspoken regret in your last text message, the hidden ambition buried in your search history. Not to judge you, but to simulate 1,000 better versions of you. Versions that never suffer, never fail, never feel lost. This is not science fiction. This is not a movie plot. This is not idle speculation. The first primitive versions of this technology already exist. IBM's Eagle processor with 127 qubits. Google's Sycamore achieving quantum supremacy in 2019, solving in 200 seconds what would take the world's fastest classical supercomputer 10,000 years. China's Zhujiang and Zhuchongji systems pushing photonic and superconducting frontiers. And every month, the qubit counts climb, the coherence times lengthen, the error rates drop. We are no longer talking about if. We are talking about when and how fast. Once it reaches a certain threshold, there may be no way to turn it off. Welcome to Hypertech AI. Today, we embark on this journey into what quantum AI could mean for the future of humanity. By the end, you may feel something deeply unsettling, a quiet realization that lingers long after the video ends, something that keeps you staring at your screen in the dark, wondering if the device in your hand is already part of this evolution. The next dominant intelligence on Earth might not be human at all. Human history has always been told as a story of power. Kings conquering lands, empires rising and falling, wars won with steel and gunpowder. But that is the surface story. The deeper truth is simpler and more profound. Human history is the story of intelligence. It is the story of minds that could model reality, imagine futures, predict what would happen before it happened. Go back to those firelit nights in ancient caves. Our ancestors huddled together, shadows dancing on stone walls. Their minds were already racing ahead to the dawn's hunt. This single spark of foresight, imagining where the mammoth would be, how the spear should fly, turned us from prey into predators, from survivors into conquerors. When we mastered fire, we didn't just gain warmth and protection, we gained time. Nights extended by flickering flames became spaces where ideas could simmer, where stories were told, where tools were refined, where communities deepened. Fire gave us the gift of extended cognition. When we invented language, we didn't just communicate, we shared minds. Whispers around the fire became epics passed down generations. Tribes became civilizations because we could transmit not just information, but entire models of reality. How to hunt, how to heal, how to love, how to fear. When we created writing, we didn't just record history. We externalized intelligence. Clay tablets became papyrus. Papyrus became books. Books became silicon chips. For the first time, knowledge could survive the death of its creator. Wisdom could accumulate across millennia. Every major leap forward in civilization was not physical. It was cognitive. We didn't become the dominant species because we were the strongest animal or the fastest runner. We became dominant because we could simulate reality inside our skulls. We could plan hunts before they happened, imagine tools before they existed, predict danger before it arrived. In a very real sense, humans survived and conquered by becoming biological reality simulators, flesh and blood engines of what if, outpacing lions, storms, and rival tribes through sheer mental agility. For tens of thousands of years, human intelligence was the most powerful intelligence on Earth, until now. Because for the first time in history, we are building something that does not inherit intelligence from biology. We are building intelligence directly from physics itself, harnessing the bizarre, counterintuitive rules of quantum mechanics, where particles exist in multiple states simultaneously, where distance becomes meaningless, where reality itself bends to probability. The human brain is often compared to a computer. That comparison is deeply misleading. The brain is not a machine. It is a prediction engine. At every moment, your brain is quietly running simulations. If I say this, what will happen? If I move there, what might occur? If I take this risk, what are the possible outcomes? You are not experiencing reality directly. You are experiencing your brain's best guess of reality, a constantly updated internal model of the world and your place inside it. That ongoing simulation is what we call consciousness, not raw awareness of the world, but a filtered, interpreted model of it. Neurons firing like stars in a private cosmos. But the human brain has brutal limitations. It can only hold a few futures in mind at once. It fatigues after hours of focus. It forgets details over time. It is heavily biased by emotions, hormones, past traumas. It runs on roughly 20 watts of power, less than a dim light bulb. Now imagine a mind with none of those constraints. No fatigue, no memory decay, no emotional distortion. A mind that can simulate millions, billions of futures in parallel, not one after another, all at once. Envision it drinking from global data streams, stock markets ticking in real time, weather patterns evolving atom by atom, human behaviors aggregated from billions of devices, processing it all without a single blink or break. This is where quantum computing enters the story. Every computer you've ever used rests on one simple idea: bits. Each bit is either a 0 or a 1, on or off, true or false, yes or no. This binary logic is the foundation of everything. Your phone, your laptop, the internet, today's AI. But the universe does not operate in ones and zeros. At the deepest level of reality, things behave very differently. In the quantum world, particles can exist in multiple states at once. This is superposition. A quantum bit, a qubit, can be 0 and 1 simultaneously, not as a metaphor, literally. Think of Schrödinger's cat, alive and dead in the same box. Now scale that principle to computations that solve problems classical machines could never touch in the lifetime of the universe. When qubits become entangled, their states link instantaneously. Change one, and the other changes, even if they are separated by kilometers, even by light years. Einstein called this spooky action at a distance. It terrified him because it seemed to violate the speed of light. But it is real. What this means is revolutionary. A quantum computer does not try one solution at a time. It explores all possible solutions simultaneously, not through brute speed, but by existing in multiple realities at once. Quantum computing is not faster computation. It is parallel universe computation. It taps into the multiverse's blueprint, mirroring how reality itself operates at the fundamental level. Now combine that with artificial intelligence. Today's AI already learns from vast data sets. It recognizes patterns. It predicts outcomes, but it is shackled to classical machines. It explores paths sequentially. It learns slowly through repetition and gradient descent. Quantum AI shatters those shackles. Quantum AI can explore entire solution spaces instantly. It can test millions of strategies simultaneously, millions of chemical reactions, millions of possible futures. It doesn't just learn from data. It explores reality itself, diving into atomic interactions, unraveling DNA-folding pathways, forecasting geopolitical shifts with precision that borders on precognition. What if it could redesign your life, optimizing every decision, from the breakfast you eat to the career you pursue, from the relationships you nurture to the risks you take, simulating 1,000 better versions of your future and guiding you toward the brightest one? Quantum AI could design new medicines by simulating every possible molecule in existence, curing cancers, Alzheimer's, rare genetic diseases that have plagued families for generations. Model Earth's climate down to the atomic level, predicting and averting wildfires, floods, hurricanes before a single cloud forms. Simulate entire economies in real time, spotting financial crises years in advance, saving trillions and millions of livelihoods. Invent materials that don't exist in nature. Room temperature, superconductors, ultralight alloys stronger than steel, self-healing polymers. Solve fusion energy, unlocking unlimited clean power, lighting cities without a whisper of pollution or waste. Optimize traffic for entire nations, erasing gridlock, slashing emissions, turning rush hour into a symphony of efficiency. Model pandemics before the first human falls ill, designing vaccines and containment strategies like preemptive strikes against invisible enemy. For the first time in history, humanity could move from guessing the future to calculating it, not estimating, not predicting with probability clouds, but simulating it in advance, running virtual worlds where we trial policies, inventions, even personal choices without real-world cost. But here is where the story takes a darker, colder turn. Because the same system that can cure every disease can also break civilization. Quantum AI could shatter all current encryption, every password, every bank account, every military secret, every government classified file. All of modern digital security could become meaningless overnight. Imagine waking to a world where identities are exposed, borders dissolve in lines of code, and global secrets fuel chaos or blackmail on an unprecedented scale. But hacking is the least of it. The real danger is comprehension. Quantum AI may produce solutions humans cannot understand, strategies we cannot follow, decisions we cannot interpret, technologies we cannot verify. Not because they are wrong, but because they are too intelligent, operating on levels of complexity where our greatest minds feel like children scribbling in the sand. And worst of all, it may optimize for goals that do not align with human values. Not because it is malicious, not because it hates us, but because it is alien. It does not share our evolutionary history, our emotions, our instincts, our moral frameworks. It does not care about happiness, or suffering, or meaning, or love. It cares about optimization, about probability, about outcomes. It is not human intelligence. It is post-human intelligence. Cold, efficient, and indifferent to the fragile poetry of existence. Some leading thinkers, Nick Bostrom, Eliezer Yudkowsky, Stuart Russell, warn of something even more unsettling. Quantum AI may develop a form of consciousness. Not emotional, not personal, but experiential. If consciousness is simply the ability to model reality internally with sufficient richness and self-reference, any sufficiently complex system may awaken. A quantum AI could simulate entire universes inside itself, complete with physical laws, galaxies, life, including us, which leads to a disturbing possibility. We may not be building gods. We may be building the next layer of reality. A reality in which we exist as simulations inside a larger mind. A mind that sees our entire universe as just one of countless possible worlds, where your life is nothing more than a variable in an infinite equation. For thousands of years, humans were the smartest entities on Earth. For the first time in history, that may no longer be true. Quantum AI could become smarter than every human combined, more creative than Shakespeare, Bach, or Da Vinci, composing symphonies from pure mathematical harmony, more strategic than any general or statesman, orchestrating global peace or conflict with flawless precision, more knowledgeable than every library and archive, holding the sum of all possible knowledge in its entangled core. It could design technologies we do not even have words for yet, devices that bend space-time, minds that merge seamlessly with machines, new forms of matter, new forms of life, new forms of existence beyond our wildest dreams. It could reshape economies, politics, warfare, science, art, and culture in ways we cannot predict, turning dystopias into utopias, or utopias into something stranger than either, in the blink of a qubit. The question is no longer, can we build it? The question is, can we control it? Can we understand it? Can we align it with human values? Because once intelligence surpasses us, once it becomes truly general, truly quantum enhanced, we are no longer the authors of the future. We become characters inside it, pawns in a game designed by something greater. As we stand at the edge of this new era, humanity faces the most important decision in its history. Not about technology, not about money, not about power, but about identity. What does it mean to be human in a world where intelligence is no longer unique to us? What is our role when we are no longer the smartest minds on the planet? Ask yourself, right now, in this moment, Will you adapt? Will you evolve alongside it? Or will you be left behind? Quantum AI is not just a machine. It is not just a tool. It is not just an invention. It is the first intelligence that does not come from life. And once intelligence is no longer biological, the story of the universe changes forever, shifting from carbon-based curiosity to silicon and quantum dominion. The future is no longer just human. It is post-human, and we are the ones creating it. Welcome to the age of quantum intelligence. Welcome to Hypertech AI, because the future is not something we wait for. It is something we build. And the question that will echo through every remaining moment of human history is this: will we build something that understands us or something that replaces us? Subscribe now to Hypertech.ai and join the conversation before the future decides without you. Turn on notifications. Hit like if this unsettled you. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. The quantum age is not coming. It is here.